are doing the same thing. We're finding the slope and the y-intercept for each equation. The trick on these, though, is they are not in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form requires us to have y equals mx plus b. So on each of these equations here, we can't immediately find the slope and the y-intercept because they are not in the correct form. So for example 2a, I'll rewrite this equation here. 6x plus y equals -3. I want this equation to be in this form, and so I need it to be y equals. So I look at this and I see a y equals right here, but I have a 6x. I don't want this 6x on the same side as the y. So like we did last chapter, I am going to be eliminating this 6x by simply taking it away. So if I take away 6x's from the left side, I have to take away 6x's from the right side as well. And so after I do that, the 6x minus 6x, that'll go away. And so I end up with a positive y, which is just a y, equals, and now I have two terms here. This is a constant, and this is an x term. I can't combine them, but I should put them in this order. I want an mx, so I want an x term first. So I'm going to put the -6x, and then this -3 after that, because I want an mx plus b. I want the x term, then the constant. And so now we have a very straightforward, what is the slope? Well, it's that number right there. The slope is -6, so m equals -6. And then this number out here is my y-intercept. So the y-intercept, which we call b, b is -3 because it says -3, and I can actually think of that as plus a -3. So b is a -3. So there's your slope and your y-intercept for 2a. So let's take a look at 2b. For 2b, we have y minus 5 equals -x. And again, we want just a y equal. So if we look at this equation here, it has y, but then there's a -5 on the y side, and I want this -5 to not be there. So how do we get rid of a -5? Well, we put a +5. So if I add 5 after subtracting 5, these two will cancel out. But again, if we do something to the left side of the equal sign, we have to do the same thing to the right. So I'm going to put a +5 on the right side as well. And so if I have a -5 plus 5, that'll go away. So y equals, and again we want the x term listed first, so I'm going to put a -x and then the +5. Now that this is in slope-intercept form, the slope and the y-intercept are just sitting there waiting for us. The number in front of this x, remember, if there isn't a coefficient shown, there's actually a number there. It's a 1 and there's a negative there, so this is actually a -1. So the slope is -1 because that's the number in front of the x, the coefficient of x. And then the constant that is added out here, this is my y-intercept. It's where the graph would hit the y-axis if I were to graph it. So the y-intercept is 5. So there's examples 2a and 2b explained. I'll let you do 2c and 2d on your own, but the general idea is get the y on one side, the x and the constant on the other side. That's it.